Good morning, Unity.
All right, good morning.
What a wonderful day. Let's get it started.
Love is who I am. Gratitude, my attitude. Abundance is my nature. Well-being, my birthright. Love is who I am. Love is who I am. Love is who I am. So when I wake in the morning, there's so many questions and no answers come to mind. But then I remember it's quite simple. I remember to look inside my heart. It's the best place to start. Love is who I am. Gratitude, my attitude. Abundance is my nature. Well-being, my birthright. Love is who I am. Love is who I am. Love is who I am. So if you're feeling discouraged and don't know how to decide which road to take, just try to remember it's quite simple. Just remember to look inside your heart. It's the best place to start. Love is who I am. Gratitude, my attitude. Abundance is my nature. Well-being, my birthright. Love is who I am. 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 Gratitude, my attitude. Abundance is my nature. Well-being, my birthright. Love is who I am. Love is who I am. Love is who I
Good morning, family. Good morning. I'm gonna sing y'all a Christmas song today. Is that okay? Yeah? Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. Next year all our troubles will be out of sight. Ooh. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. Next year all our troubles will be miles away. Once again, as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us, gather near to us once more. Through the years we all will be together, if the fates allow. Hang a shining star upon the highest bough, and have yourself a merry little Christmas
Wow. Well then. Hey, will you marry me? Lovely. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas to you all. I hope that you are feeling some of the joy and the cheer that comes with this season. We welcome you to First Unity Spiritual Campus. This is a place where you are not tolerated, you are appreciated and celebrated just for who you are. So out of celebration and appreciation, I'm going to ask you to find somebody, look them right in the eye and say, oh my, you look amazing. You look wonderful. You're fantastic. You're beautiful, intelligent, powerful. I call you blessed, healthy, wealthy, and wise. I see all kinds of good coming your way. All kinds of good coming your way. Now high five 2 or 3 people. Hug somebody's neck. Tell them you're glad to see them at First Unity Spiritual Campus. Yeah. And everybody who's joining us online around the world through our live streaming platforms, we welcome you. Come on, First Unity, let's welcome everybody joining us around the world. We see you. We love you. Thank you for being here and being a part of this community. If you have not silenced your phones already, please consider doing so, especially if it goes into jingle bells. Somebody may turn into Rudolph, and it might be all over after that. It could just, but then we'd have a TV show, especially if somebody turned into a deer right here. Oh, dear. Hey, there's so many things going on the campus this time of year, so many things happening in your day-to-day life. But next Friday, I'm going to go ahead and plug this. I know that the announcements are coming in a moment, but next Friday is All Holy Night. You don't want to miss that. Somebody say, so good. Somebody say, yummy. Delicious. It's going to be a great event, so go ahead and make your plans to be a part of that gathering. I don't think there's anything else for me to say except for to invite once again First Lady Reverend Carrie Bell Scott back to the platform to tell us what's happening on the campus. Yeah, welcome her back.
Are we there? All right, we're there. Hey, we're there. Awesome. Every Thursday evening, we do have our meditation with Reiki here in the sanctuary at 6 p.m. This week, Reverend Serena will be the facilitator. Yep. I am pleased to announce that all 100 of our angels from our angel tree have been shopped for and will have Christmas gifts this year. Yes. I'm so excited, yes. So thank you so much to everyone in our community who has donated, who has shopped. Without you, we couldn't have made this possible. So I am so grateful for you all. Yearly contribution statements will be going out in January. So if any of your personal information has changed, make sure you see Leah in the lobby after service to get that updated. As Reverend John said, our All Holy Night celebration is December 20th, 7 p.m. here in the sanctuary. Bring the whole family. Everyone's welcome. Next Sunday, I know I'm all festive this Sunday, but next Sunday we're going to have our Christmas sweater and or apparel Sunday. So if you want to wear your ugly sweater, your cute sweater, a cute dress, come and join us and dress up festive if you'd like. Our Burning Bowl celebration, our Burning Bowl ceremony is going to be Sunday, December 29th during this service, 11 a.m. When you walk in, you're going to receive a piece of paper and a pencil. You're going to write down what's no longer serving you in 2024, and then we're going to burn it outside in a fire pit to make new for the 2025. And then, as always, we have lunch in Fellowship Hall after service. Everyone's welcome. Donations are appreciated. Be sure to stay up to date because there's a lot going on at firstunity.org. I love you. Thank you.
Love incarnate, love divine, star and angel gave the sign. Love has come to set us free. The Savior of humanity. Unto us Christ's love is born. It shall reign forevermore. Come and see what God has done. The story of amazing love, the light of the world lives within us. Love incarnate, love divine, star and angel gave the sign. Love has come to set us free. It's the Savior of humanity. Within us Christ's love is born. It shall reign forevermore. No
In case you haven't noticed, 'tis Christmas time. 'Tis the time of the year when we celebrate the birth of the Christ consciousness. And thank you, Becca, for reminding us that we're not celebrating anything but the rebirth of the Christ light within each and every one of us. And even at this time when many of us maybe feel an absence of joy, because this is the third Sunday of Advent, and many people have expressed to me, I'm not feeling the joy this year. But I'm going to help, maybe perhaps guide you into accessing that feeling of joy today. And so perhaps Christmas is the reminder that the light within us will always break through our darkest nights. And that even within our darkest nights, there is truly joy. So I'm going to ask you now, and those of you who have joined me at home online, make yourself comfortable. So whatever that means to your physical body right now, maybe shifting your sits bones, maybe just noticing what you need to create in terms of space around you so that you can sit in prayer or stillness for the next few minutes. Noticing your body temple now in this moment. Maybe noticing how that word joy, what that creates in the mind in this moment. And then connect with your breath and breathing. And just noticing any areas of tension in your body at this moment. And simply being with whatever it is that you are feeling. Just allowing the breath to go to that area of tension that you may be experiencing. And maybe noticing with your exhale breath that it will pass and go. Noticing the space at the back of your eyes. Can you relax and let go? And the word joy, spelled J-O-Y, can be an acronym or a mantra for you today that simply says, just open yourself. Allow yourself to be open in this moment. To notice the tension, but to also be open to receive the breath and the exhale breath that will help the release and the letting go. Noticing now the relaxed heaviness that you are opening up to as you sit here in your prayer or meditation. And following the exhale breath as it travels down your arms. And simply allowing your fingers to unravel, to unfurl. Keep on going with your breath. You know your body temple better than anybody else. Where else is the tension that you need to allow to simply let go? Emptying out with each exhale breath, letting go of tension, tiredness, weariness, maybe all of those things that are barriers to you experiencing the joy of being here now in this moment. Stay with your breath as you follow the inhale, the expansion of the abdomen, the rib cage. And then as you exhale, maybe sighing and consciously releasing and letting go, emptying out, preparing the way for the Christ consciousness, the light, to shine here within you. So on your next inhale breath now, coming from the soles of your feet as you inhale, slowly moving upwards, bringing in and activating the light within you. And then as you come to the top, exhale now as you send this light to illuminate every particle, every cell in your physical body. Continue with your breath as you illuminate the entire body. And now I'm going to invite you to the screen of your mind, your spiritual eye. And I'm going to ask you to bring to the screen of your mind maybe moments of joy that you have experienced. Maybe a sunset, holding your grandchild, your child. Maybe gratitude in whatever you have experienced recently, noticing the gratitude and the kindness of neighbors who lent a hand during the storms that passed through the last few months. Maybe there's a situation in your life that you can pause and notice where you can give thanks and gratitude. Can you stay with this feeling as you now drop the visual memory, and just stay with this feeling of joy, of peace, of gratitude? This is how this feels in the heart space. Maybe noticing the heart connections in these experiences, whether they were light or dark. Just noticing that joy is the light of connection that is made from the heart space. So stay here with this feeling of joy, of gratitude. Even giving gratitude for the not so perfect moments. Filling up with light, with love, with hope, with peace. And then exhaling, releasing the barriers to experiencing this feeling in this So maybe silently affirming right now, I feel the light of joy shimmering throughout my body and my mind. I feel the light of joy shimmering throughout my body and my mind. I know who I am. I am spirit. I am joy. I am the light of this world. However you're sensing or feeling this right now, can you illuminate this out beyond your body? Maybe into the space you're in right now, and send it out ahead of you, maybe to someone in need, someone you love, a situation. Maybe making that light connection, that heart connection with someone who demonstrates joy to you. And sending this light, this joy now, back to you as you allow a smile to come over your face. Begin to lengthen your inhale breath, your exhale breath. Beginning to wiggle your fingers, your toes. As you begin to bring your awareness back to this space, this place, allowing a smile to come over your face, and just maybe bringing your hands together however you'd like to close, maybe bringing your hands over your body, maybe over your eyes. And as you begin to open your eyes, I'm going to share just a short excerpt from something that I found this week that resonates with joy. That says this: what if joy is not only entangled with pain or suffering or sorrow, but it is also what emerges from how we care for one another through these experiences? What if joy, instead of being a refuge or relief from heartbreak and heartache, is what actually blossoms from within each of us as we help one another to carry our heartache? And so it is.
As always, so lovely. Reverend Aileen Curtin, thank you so much. Hi. So, Jesus, Moses, and this very elderly man decided to go golfing. Sounds like the beginning to a joke, doesn't it? So Moses tees up. terrible shot. It slices so bad. Into the pond it goes. Moses looks frustrated. He grabs one of the, what do they call those things? Yeah. He grabs one of his putters and he walks over and he sticks it right into the water and it parts. Walks over to the golf ball and hits it right onto the green. Jesus from a distance says, "Good shot, Moses." Jesus steps up. It's looking good, and then a wind blows. It slices so bad. It hits in a worse part of the pond. But when it hits the pond, it sits right on top. Jesus walks out on the water, winks at Moses. Hits the ball right onto the green, right next to the hole. This elderly man in the background, he's just watching this whole thing happen. He's like, this is crazy. He walks up, stretches a little bit. He hits the ball. And it's worse than the previous two. It slices, goes into the pond, sinks all the way to the bottom. All of a sudden, a carp grabs this golf ball, comes up to the top of the water, 3 foot out of the water. A bird swoops down, grabs the golf ball, flies the golf ball 325 yards all the way right up to the hole. It drops it, and a squirrel scurries out of the woods and bumps the golf ball right in for a hole in one. And Jesus says, "Good shot, Dad." Good shot, Dad. That has nothing to do with today's chat, unless you like playing golf with God. Somebody resent me this meme this week. When life gives you lemons, make lemonade. You ever gotten that one before? Like you're going through some pain and somebody sends you, "Oh, just make lemonade." Here's what I wanted to share with you today so that we don't spiritual bypass the rest of our life away. When life sends you lemons, you don't have to always make lemonade. Just be aware that you don't have to, because there's only so many glasses of lemonade you care to drink in a lifetime. And sometimes you just want some tea or a beer or something stiffer than that. My point is that we need to stop really bypassing what we're experiencing in our life. Last week we talked about emotions and commotions and our devotions, and how our devotions should elevate to such a place that they begin to influence and inform our emotions and our commotions, but they don't shield us or insulate us from them, or them from us. They're actually giving us the ability to see the beauty, the texture, the color that our emotions and our commotions bring. That even commotion, as we talked about last week, can be a wonderful thing. It can. And I went to great lengths to try to share that last week. If you didn't see the talk, I'm not going to regurgitate the talk today. You can go check it out on our website or on YouTube or on Facebook. But we talked about how those emotions, and the 4 major emotions that we deal with are what? Anger, sadness, joy, peace. These are our major emotions. And the main emotions that we're dealing with, I want us today to see them right as I go into segue into this chat with you today. I want us to see them as a quartet. And of course I would do this because I'm a musician and a singer and a songwriter, and so I think in terms of music a lot. But if you've ever heard a quartet, how many have heard of Elvis Presley? Struggling artist. He did a few things. One of the things that he did was he loved Southern gospel music so much that he, just about the whole time he was on the road, while he could afford to, he paid gospel quartets to be backup vocalists on his albums and in his concerts. He loved the Statesman Quartet. He loved J.D. Sumner and the Stamps. He really loved J.D. Sumner because J.D. Sumner is actually still recorded as the lowest human note ever hit by a human being in the Guinness Book of World Records. And he loved that low, low bass, that really, really high, high tenor. And quartets are what they sound like. They are 4 vocalists who sing in harmony together. And you have a baritone, and you have a tenor, and you have a lead, and you have a bass singer, okay? And I wanted you to get a visual of all of your emotions being the quartet trying to sing the song of your life. And I want you to just imagine for a moment, Iman can appreciate this, and I know that others can too who have been a part of ensembles. If you don't invite the bass singer to the song, they won't know the words or the song. And so when they sing off key or they get a little crazy, you can't be upset with them if you didn't invite them to the rehearsal. I'm talking about our emotions being invited into the room and being invited to be a part of the tapestry of our life instead of seeing them as enemies. Now, I know for years we've heard that anger and sadness are lower vibrational frequencies. But if you live in a 2-story house, you better hope that your foundational frequency is solid. Can I ask us to see the beauty of all that's possible? Can I ask us to stop judging our emotions and our commotions and start really learning what it is to navigate this human experience with our spiritual selves? So that we can start loving all of them. Because there's a line in a Jason Mraz song. I mentioned it last week. I'll mention it again this week because I really like it. I like Jason Mraz, a great songwriter. But he said, everybody gets mad sometimes, and maybe they should. Occasionally, it's a time to be angry. You've heard it, to every season, time. Boys to Men should redo that song. But you've heard the song, and there's a season for there to be anger, for there to be sadness, for there to be joy, and for there to also be peace. There's a time for all of that. Now, that is what we would call the appetizer for the meal. I want to talk to you about what I would consider to be AAA spirituality. Now, I got the idea for these A words, 3 of them, before I thought about AAA. Then I went and I did some research on AAA. Now, I thought that AAA was like, had an age on it, that you had to be a certain age before you could qualify for AAA. I was, misunderstanding that from something else. So when I got a letter a few years ago, very thick. How many of you get those thick envelopes from AAA? They're trying to get you to join, right? I got this letter from them like I was 35 years old, and I got offended. I was like, I'm not old enough to have AAA. What does this even mean? The closer I get to 50, the more I welcome these advertisements. And I actually read them, and I didn't used to. AAA was developed in the early 1900s by people who had cars and a couple of different manufacturers of cars. The reason they did that is because the roads back then had been developed for horse and buggy. And in the United States, there were nearly 1 million horses and buggy, but there was less than 100,000 cars. And so instead of fixing the roads, they decided to develop a system that would help with roadside assistance. If you've ever needed assistance roadside, how many can say you're thankful for those roadside assistance moments? Anybody? So, what does this have to do with the talk? Well, all of us are on this road to life, and sometimes we find potholes, and sometimes we get discouraged, and sometimes we get beat down, and sometimes we get totally wrecked. And I want to share with you a AAA program that I believe will help you with roadside assistance as you journey through this life. And the first A is this: acknowledge. Acknowledge your divine nature and acknowledge the situation. I know the situation exists and it is as it is, but I also am as I am. To be able to stand in your I amness and still recognize the situation, it takes a level of acknowledgement. And the word acknowledge means to accept or to admit to the existence of or the truth of something. There's a scripture in the Old Testament of the Christian Bible, and it's in the Jewish Proverbs, that says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding, but in all of your ways acknowledge him and he will direct your path. I retranslated this a little bit because I have the audacity to do that and the occasion to do that. And I retranslated it as this: trust in the universal law with all of your being. From the depths of your being, give all of your trust. Ultimate trust. Lean not to your own intellectual understanding based on your experience, but in all acknowledge the divine that is within you, and you will receive ongoing guidance and support for your journey. If I don't acknowledge the divinity that's within me, I'm not going to be able to wake it up to notice what it's trying to reach out to me and say to me. And I ask you this: when we're talking about intellect and intellectual understanding, I'm asking you because we're in the Christmas season, is there any room in the inn for the Christ consciousness to be born? Or is there so much condensation in our minds that we're not able to allow that guidance system to work with us, through us, and work for us? Because there's support for the journey and it's reaching out to us, but we have to acknowledge it, and it's important for us to make a daily practice of it. Somebody say daily practice.
Daily practice.
What you practice becomes a habit, and your habit will build your habitat, and that will determine how you live and where you live in this life. So if I'm practicing daily this understanding that the most important part of me is my divine nature, the most important relationship I have is with the God within. It's not with my wife or husband or my children or a relationship at work or a relationship to politics or the things that are going on in the world. The most important relationship I have in my life that needs the most cultivation is my divine nature. This is what it means, I believe, to acknowledge, to deeply acknowledge that is within us. So the most important thing that we can do is to totally and completely embrace and recognize the divine that is within us. That's my deepest truth. In fact, if you will pat yourself on the chest and say, my divinity is real, and it's my deepest truth. My deepest truth. Beyond all of the facts, beyond all of the figures, beyond everything that's happening outside of me, what's happening in me is a recognition, an acknowledgement of my divinity. Think about it. You have about 50 trillion cells in your body. That's a lot. 50 trillion cells in your body, and every single one of them manifested from one single zygote. That one single zygote caused all 50 trillion of those cells to multiply and specialize within your being and show up as you. From that one single, I'll call it the spark of divinity. From that one single spark of divinity sprung forth a multiplication and a specialization of all of the other parts of your body. Some of those specialized into kidneys, some of those specialized into heart, some of those specialized into brain cells, some of them specialized into your elbow and other parts. Everybody good? Acknowledging that originating source of life, which is your divine nature, is what brings forth all of its beauty and all of its power. It causes you to fundamentally change and make conscious contact with your divine nature, not on Sunday and Thursday, but on every day. Somebody say every day. In fact, say every day. Every day I need to make that conscious contact with my divine self, whether it's through meditation or through prayer or through life visioning or through affirmation, whatever it might be, make that conscious contact. I'm talking about making the journey of your life just a little easier to digest through this AAA concept. Acknowledge. Get into the awareness and then recognize that you are the awareness itself, not the situation you're aware of. Number two, the second A, appreciate. Appreciate the divine and appreciate the situation. Now, appreciate's different than gratitude. To be grateful for something is different than appreciating something. Gratitude is about thanksgiving. Appreciation is about the recognition of full value. So, if I live in gratitude and appreciation, living in appreciation causes me to increase the value of something or causes the full color and its full worth to become apparent. Let me say it this way. Hindsight is what? When I look back over my life, there are some things that transpired while they were going on. It was very hard for me to be grateful and impossible for me to appreciate. In fact, I depreciated it. That is the root of trauma, is to depreciate those woundings, to depreciate those things. It keeps you from being able to recognize any good that came from it. And while you live in the pain of that, I promise you, pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice. In this human existence, pain is inevitable. It's going to happen, but ongoing suffering is my choice. I know this because I know what it is to experience trauma. I'm not talking to you as somebody who's never experienced trauma. I'm talking to you today as somebody who found out that there was a way to heal my trauma and even make my trauma work for me. I decided what did not kill me would make me stronger. I decided to acknowledge it and to appreciate so I could see the full value of what transpired. I don't want to go through this life as a walking disease. I've chosen not to go through this life being disconnected from my ease. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, you can heal. You can heal. To appreciate is to recognize the full value. It gives us the ability to see in high definition this journey that we're experiencing. It gives us the ability to uncover the beauty that may have just been right underneath that first layer. But so many of us don't get past the first layer to recognize the depth that's there. I think I mentioned this to you. My mother, when I was growing up, she had quite an obsession for several years with antiques. So when my grandmother passed away, my grandmother left all kinds of antiques to my mother. She had to go up to near Charleston to get it and bring all of this stuff back. And these things were huge, massive pieces of furniture. And my mom, she hated them at first. She just hated them. She would look at them, she'd go, oh, these are just so ugly. My mom makes faces like that, ugly. She's very expressive. Because they had been stained with this stain that looked like mud. So my mom gets this bright idea. Hey, what if I strip all of the stain off of it and just see what's underneath before we break it up and make firewood? So she did. And I remember the process because I remember getting up one day and walking outside, and my mom has this, she sort of pulled the Ron DeSantis thing with the white boots all the way up above the knees. She had this other stuff on her, and she had these gloves all the way up her arms. She had this mask on her face and these goggles, and she just looked like an alien. I was like, Mom, what happened? And she's out there with this chemical stuff that I can still smell to this day. It was terrible. And she starts putting this chemical on it, and it stunk, and the process was rough, and she had to scrub, and there was things she had to do to get down to the grain, and then she fell in love with what she once hated. I'm saying if we don't do this, if we don't learn to acknowledge our situations and acknowledge that the divine is working in that too, and if we don't learn to appreciate it, we may never see the beauty of that thing that we once thought was ugly only. It's not easy to do. It's not easy to do, but it can be done. Let me share this with you. Most of us are afraid of death. In our Western society, we have this weird thing about death. We do something very strange here that most other countries don't do. We embalm people. And we want to hold like that picture of them. We want to hold them in this world. And in many other countries, especially you go to the Middle Eastern countries or in Eastern countries, Asian countries especially places where they practice Buddhism or Hinduism, and they believe in reincarnation as a strength, as a strong thing. Many of them, even Buddhist monks, will actually go to mortuaries and meditate with dead bodies in the room. And people think that that's crazy, but they said that what they wanted to do was they wanted to bring the realization to reality within them of how temporary that is. That is just an envelope and the letter has been returned to sender. But on one level, chaos is just chaos. On another level, though, it's consciousness and life. On one level, it might look like death, but on another level, it's life. Let me give you a for instance. If you're a lettuce farmer and you're really into lettuce, you're not into snails because they eat lettuce. But that snail is sure into your lettuce farm. I'm pointing out something. In your life, you may think because you're a lettuce farmer that thing that's happening, that snail that's coming to eat up your profits is just a rodent. It's just terrible. It's gross. I wish I could get rid of it. I'd love to just get rid of it, exterminate it. But on one level, that's life for that snail. For you, it messes with your profits. So in this life, the lettuce farmers need to realize that in some way there's a gift that we give back to make life work for something else. We were at High Falls, Georgia, doing a hike, and I had Gavin and Rhett and Alyssa with me. It was just us four. And we're doing the hike, and we come up to this place on the trail, and there's a dead tree that has fallen over the trail. And so all of us hopped over it, except for Gavin. He decided to kick it. He's a boy, you know? He's like, let's just kick it and see what happens. Well, when he kicked it, it had been laying down for so long that it was brittle, and so when he kicked it, it opened it up. You know, you ever done that before? You just kick an old tree and open it up. When he kicked it, what had been complete stillness, what looked like rot and death, came to life. Every kind of bug you can imagine crawled up out of it. They had made their houses there. It was a mansion for maggots. It was whatever this other black bug thing, it loved its condo. What looked like death on one level, what looked like rot on one level, was a condo on another level, was a mansion on another level. I'm asking us to learn how to practice the art of appreciating what's coming to us so that we can increase the value of our life through seeing the beauty of all that's trying to unfold. When you push and you feel the pain, it may feel like it's ending your life, but it could be birthing a new life. This is what we call delivery room spirituality. And I don't like it. Is that honest enough? And I'm not saying we have to like it. I'm not even saying you have to do this practice. I am suggesting that what we're experiencing right now in our world is revolution until we learn how to have evolution. We're going to continue to go around this mountain in the wilderness until we realize that we can go forward and evolve into a better state of a human existence. But we need to learn the lesson, my friends, because if we don't learn the lesson collectively, we're going to revolve some more. You don't like what's being dug up? You don't like what's being experienced once again? Well, then we better be the change we want to see in the world. I want to sign some people up today. And as much as my knee-jerk reaction as this Scottish young man that I am is to throat punch, you know, or not to throat punch literally, but maybe by way of social media, or maybe by way of voicing my disdain. And sometimes I can stand and I can say that there's some things I need to speak up for. But I want to be like Mother Teresa, who says, I'm not going to march in an anti-war march. I will be at the front line of a for-peace march. In other words, I want to use my energy to push things forward, not give my energy to those things that I believe should have died a long time ago. Let's stop giving energy to systems that are broke, busted, and disgusting anyway. I want to see the full worth of my experience. I want to see the full value in it. What is it that I'm missing? And I'm going to tell you something. Man, sometimes it is a hard look. I mean, I'm talking about refocusing constantly, honing the skill of being able to see beyond what I think. See, this mind wants to make you think you're trapped, but you're not. If you live in the mind, you'll be trapped in the body. But if you live in consciousness, you will direct the body and the mind because you will realize that you're bigger than your body gives you credit for. That you are the one who encapsulates both mind and body. And the last A, somebody say, thank you, Jesus. You knew it was coming, didn't you? The last one is allow. This is probably more challenging than appreciation or acknowledging. Allow. Finding the ability to be with an emotion, to be with a commotion, to be in the same space and allow it to move through. To be conduit and allow these things to move through. Let me say it the way it comes to me. I don't want to be gross, or detailed. But our bodies were not built just to eat. Yeah, I know, right? This could really be a stinky illustration. But your body was not meant to just eat. It was built also to process and to eliminate what's not necessary. Can we hear that today? So allowing, I want you to kind of see allowing like that. Allowing is giving permission to and giving space for something to move through or to be present. Allowing is giving permission to embrace what is happening for what it is instead of trying to reconstruct it to what you want it to be. Now, there's a time and a season for construction. There's a time and a season for deconstruction. And then there's a time and a season to be with what is as it is because it's trying to present something to you that is apparently beyond your current knowledge and understanding. Allowing is surrender. Man. Again, the Scotsman in me is like, what do you mean surrender? I came to fight. Yeah. And that's in all of us somewhere. The surrender part connects great during the Christmas season to the story of Mary. Because Mary, young woman, 12, 13 years old, all of a sudden is visited by this light being in her room. It's weird enough already. The story's already weird. So this alien beams down. Beam me down, Scotty. I have a message for Mary. And this being shows up in her room and begins to tell her about things that are impossible. Says to her, you're going to get pregnant and you're going to birth God into the world and it's going to be done by God. What? Now Mary's got to be calculating in her head, now how do I go and tell my fiance I'm pregnant but it was God's fault? Like nobody else, it was God. And I got to go tell my family the same story. I'm pregnant but I haven't been messing around. God impregnated me. So she has to go and completely obliterate her reputation, whatever it was, based on the words of this being that she doesn't even know how to trust because she doesn't know it. Because it speaks to her vibrationally, though. Mary says these words that I think are very important for this particular point today. She says, I don't know how long it took, how long the talk was, but Mary finally says, be it unto me such as you've said. For her, it was allowing her reputation to go out the window, but it was giving way to a new identity. See, you can live for your reputation, or you can locate your identity. Now, you decide which one you want to live in, because your reputation is based on what other people think, what other circumstances say, but your identity is who you really are. Allowing gives space for faith to ignite, because allowing is surrender and complete trust. There comes a time, folks, when we just don't have it figured out. Certainly we don't have God figured out, because that's a mathematical term, which means you've created a formula. And the moment you've created a formula about God, God's not there. Everything that we can think of, this is one of the reasons I've said the frustration of my life is trying to talk about God. I don't want to talk about God anymore because I realize as soon as I start talking about God, I'm talking too small. However you see God, you can call it whatever you want. He, she, divine, source, energy, whatever word you want to use. My point is, as soon as we start talking about that creative force, that source energy, that life force, as soon as we start talking about it, we're talking too small because it's even grander than anything we even imagined. So it does not make sense for me to try to tell it how to do its job. It makes sense for me to allow. Bring us back to the serenity prayer. What does it say? God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. So I want to have courage for the stuff I'm supposed to change. I'm not talking about us being lazy. I'm not saying we don't ever stand up for something. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying we lay down and let regimes create terrible experiences in our world. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying there is a time when something is far bigger than me, and I need to understand that Jesus said this very clearly, which is a powerful statement by Yeshua ben Joseph, when he said, if you have faith of the grain of a mustard seed, you can say to the mountain, be removed and cast into the sea, and it shall be done. So I'm talking about if I can find just a molecule, a minuscule grain of mustard seed that allows me to that brings me into the surrender. If I surrender to the God force that is within, it will begin to come forth out of me, and out of it every answer will come. Every step that I need to take will come. The lamp unto my feet and the light unto my path will become apparent, and it will happen through me allowing it to transpire through ultimate trust, which is really what faith is, in the divine. I want to acknowledge this divinity. I want to appreciate this divinity, and I want to allow it. I want to acknowledge my circumstance and situation. I want to appreciate the circumstance and situation so I can see the full scope, and I want to allow it to move through. I tried this exercise 4 or 5 years ago. I was working for Central State Hospital in Milledgeville, Georgia, and I went out for my lunch break, and I went out and sat in the car, and I tried this exercise of just being and watching whatever comes, watch it come and watch it go. So out of the corner of my eye, I saw a cloud. So I turned my head and I looked at the cloud. I saw the cloud, and while I was looking at the cloud, I decided to close my eyes and to go back into meditation and just imagine the cloud. So I closed my eyes. I'm going through this other cycle of meditation. When I opened my eyes, the cloud was gone. I didn't move my head. I opened my eyes, the cloud was gone. I moved my head and the cloud was here. What had been there was here. Now, I didn't try to reach out and grab the cloud and hold it in place. But I noticed that from that short time, 15, 20 minutes, between starting the meditation, the cloud being here, and then gone, that just like the cloud moved through the sky, I am the sky, allowing the cloud to move through, not grasping at it or gripping onto it and trying to force it to stay in static. I let it move through. This is the same way now that I deal with situations and circumstances, especially emotional and commotional ones, because I know that this too shall, sometimes like a kidney stone, but this too shall pass. But can I acknowledge, can I appreciate, and can I learn how to allow? I can. It is in my divine nature to do so. Sometimes we just need to say, it is as it is, nothing more and nothing less. The great wisdom that comes from the Reverend Aileen Curtin often. Sometimes when I greet her on a day of work or something's happening, and something always seems to be happening, in people work, there's always people. And as Iman calls it, human behaviors. And so occasionally there are things that are going on or what have you, and Reverend Aileen, I've noticed, is rock solid on this. I love this practice, and it helps influence my own. Or sometimes I'll walk up to her, give her a hug when I first see her and embrace her, give her a hug and say, how are you? And I know that there's probably something under the surface when I get this response. I am. She won't say anything else. Nothing else coming out of the lips. There may be a little vibration, woo, something's happening. There may be a look on the face, but her mouth is going to say, I am. And she's really essentially saying, and she can correct me if I'm wrong, essentially saying it is as it is in this present moment, right here, right now. And I am that I am in this present moment. This is the out picturing. Sometimes we need to be able to say, it is as it is, and allow it to move through. Let me say this in closing. If you don't, in your body, if there's not a release of what's not serving you, it will kill you. Now, there's always reincarnation. So before you get freaked out about death, there's always rebirth and reincarnation. That's fine. That's fine. No big deal. But if you want this life to be a life of vibrance, use these AAAs as fiber for your life. Anyway, to help you get the nutrition and also know when to allow it to move through. Stop crimping the hose and you'll start watering the garden. So embrace the process and allow life to guide you to your next chapter. In closing, thank you, Jesus. That's the first amen I've gotten from you. No, I'm joking. I'm messing with you. So acknowledge is mental assent. Appreciating is opening all the value. And allowing is giving permission to the beautiful flow of this life source. So I breathe in and I let go. Sometimes I breathe in and I let go. Yeah. Isn't all of that beautiful though? I'm going to lead you in a couple of breathing exercises as we get out of here today. These are wonderful exercises that I highly suggest you at least consider making it a regular part of your week. It's three breathing exercises. And we're going to do a cycle of 3 of each one. The first one, we're going to breathe in, and when we breathe out, we're just going to on the out breath. I'm doing that one because I want to watch y'all do this. No, I'm joking. But this is going to release healing hormones into the bloodstream. So we're going to do that one. Right behind that one, we'll do an in-breath. Three of those, we'll do an in-breath. And on the in-breath, through the nose. On the out-breath, we'll we'll breathe out slower than we breathed in. It's like using a straw, like you're blowing through a straw. And on the last one, we're going to hiss like snakes. Oh, yeah, we're going to do some weird woo-woo stuff up in here. We're going to breathe in through the nose. We're going to smile at the crest of the breath, hold for a moment, and as we let it out. Scientifically proven to release healing hormones into your bloodstream. In other words, you're going to leave here more healthy than when you came in. Close your eyes if you'd like to, or a gentle gaze. We'll prepare for the first breath together. We'll breathe in about 4 or 5 seconds. And on the out breath, okay. Preparing now for the first breath together. Breathe in. And exhale. Second breath together. Breathe in. And exhale. You may already feel a little fuzzy. That's good news. Good news. Preparing for the third breath together. Breathe in. And exhale. Now here comes the straw breathe out. We're going to breathe in about 4 or 5 seconds. On the out breath, about 8 seconds. Blowing out through the straw. Preparing now for that first breath. Breathe in. And exhale. Oh, yeah. Now preparing for that second breath together. Breathe in. And exhale. And the last straw breath. Breathe in. And exhale. If you feel a tingling in your body or at the top of your head, maybe around your eyes, it's all good. You're oxygenating the blood. The body is being healed. There's a healing happening within the body now. This next one takes us to the next level of this healing. It heals not just the body, but it heals the cellular realities of our brain. Brings a higher level of neuroactivity. We're going to prepare now for that first deep breath. We'll breathe in about 4 or 5 seconds in through the nose. On the out breath, or at the top of the breath, smile. And then on the out breath, just like a snake. Preparing now for that first breath together. Breathe in. And smile. Oh, yeah. Yummy. And that second breath together. Breathe in. Smile. If you're feeling a little dizzy, don't be concerned. It's just receiving so much oxygen. The healing. The neural systems are being ignited now, oxygenating the blood in the entire body, preparing for that third breath together on this one, healing the body and the mind. Breathe in. Smile. Maybe repeat this after me. I acknowledge all of the circumstances. Most of all, I acknowledge my divine self. I appreciate the circumstances. Most of all, I appreciate my divine self. I allow circumstances and situations. Most of all, I allow my divine self to flow freely. And so it is. Namaste. I love you, family. AAA for your journey. Woo. A little drunk now. I feel like I had some eggnog early. Lovely, lovely. And I encourage you to consider making that a part of your day. Listen, if you don't have 30 minutes to meditate every day, you need to meditate for an hour. Take 30 minutes to meditate, and it could be watching a candle flicker so that the logical mind is distracted, so that you can just be in the spaciousness. It could be through the use of music or guided meditation. It could be sitting in the silence as a refrigerator runs, or as a fan runs, or as loved ones are getting ready in the other room. It could be any of those things, and just allow yourself to be present with your beautiful self. Try these breathing exercises going into the meditation or coming out of it, or both. See what happens in your life. I encourage you to consider really practicing the art of meditation, affirmative prayer, life visioning, and affirmation over your life, okay? Bless you, bless you. Listen, we have a fantastic vision for this ministry. It is abundant and beautiful. Over the last 2 days, we have had an intensive last 2 days of what we call our annual EOS leadership gathering. Man, the leadership team, if you try to talk to them about something else that's going on today and they look like they're glazing like a Krispy Kreme donut, it's just because of a lot of information over the last 2 days. But I'll tell you, we have reached a real position and an inflection point as First Unity Spiritual Campus. And we are pressing into 2025. And our theme for the new year around here is Thrive in 25. We are going to learn how to thrive in 25. And Our vision that we have set forward is that we intend, this is my favorite part of it, okay? Now I'm going to give you this part. We're going to have another vision quest in a few weeks where we're going to go back through our vision and talk about that. Our leadership team is going to come before you and talk about what they're doing to help carry out that vision. But this is one of my favorite parts of our vision statement that says, we intend to be blessing billions, with a B, a capital B, billions every day, not Sunday and Thursday, every day, with the love of God, or the divine love, with love through music, message, and meditation. It is our intention, and we have set our commitment to make that happen, to bless billions every day. So what you're a part of is not just coming to church and feeling nice on Sunday or Thursday night. What you're a part of is a vision that is moving forward to actually affect change and effect change on the world. We're not victims of our circumstances. We are victorious over the circumstances. We're going to be the change that we have intended to see in the world. You're a part of that. That leads me up to the fuel for the car that has been built is money. And I'm not ashamed to talk about it, because you know what money is to me? My servant, not my master. Can I say that one more time? Money is my servant, not my master. See, the reason money might get funny in your life is when you're letting it master you, because it doesn't know how to do that. Money loves to serve. It has a service ministry. I said money has a service ministry. So I'm encouraging you to stop following the money. Make the money follow you. Decide you're going to take the lead, and the money's going to show up. What am I saying? I'm saying that as you invest in this community, you're not just giving for electric bills and salaries of people who help to keep the machine running. You're giving toward a vision, which means you're not just giving today, you're investing in tomorrow and the tomorrows that follow that. And also, you are engaging the powerful law of circulation in your own life. Because when you give, you're saying to money, you're not my master. You're saying to the universe, you are the leader of my life and the one who can bring all abundance into my life. Because we believe that abundance is who we are. So the ways to give are going up on the screen. But I want you to know, again, you're not just giving money, you're investing in this vision. You can text to give. You can use our First Unity app to give. You can go to firstunity.org/give. You can decide to subscribe. That's a great way to give. Also, you can mail in a check or a money order to our P.O. box at any point in time. You can use our Cash app. You can also use the QR code that is on the plate, and our ushers are coming forward now to prepare to receive the offering. And they have the QR code on the plate, but there's also a giant QR code going up on the screen now. And if you want to use that for digital giving, you can do that. That QR code is going to stay up on the screen for the next few minutes. Also, for those who are watching online, let me chat with you for a moment, because if you are receiving food, it's almost like delivery dudes showing up to your house, or Uber food showing up. We're like delivering it to your house. Please consider being not only a giver today, $10, $20, $100, $200, but also be a sustaining partner with this vision so that we can continue to come into your house and be a blessing to you as well. The ways to give will be on the screen, cycled throughout over this next song. We thank you for giving. I'm going to ask Reverend Aileen to come and lead us in our abundance prayer.
Yes, and thank you, Reverend John. Are we not feeling more lifted and joyful? And I also want to, before the prayer, if you are new today, you have never been with us before, please go out the door, take a left, go to the welcome desk. There is a special gift there for you. So now I'm going to ask, if you're able to do so, to please stand and just allow that feeling of abundance to flow through you as we say our prayer together. The abundance of God is my infinite source. I now open my mind and my heart to give and receive all God's good, all God's prosperity, all God's abundance. As God as my source, all things are possible, and so it is.
right, everybody, stand to your feet. We're about to close out service.
By this we shall know what true love is.
Showing
The world our unity.
that's what true love is. We are one.
One in spirit.
That's what true love is.
Manifesting light throughout
Throughout the world, yeah. That's what true love is.
Here we grow
Together.
Here we grow
Together.
Here we grow
Together. Here we grow today. Come on, Titters, help me out. Growing together is what we do. Come on.
grow.
Is what we do. Let's sing it, sopranos. Growing together. Yeah.
Growing together is what we
Is what we do. Here we grow. Here we grow. Growing together. Here we grow today. And let's say our mantra. Love is who I am. Gratitude is my attitude. Abundance is my nature. And well-being is my birthright. And remember to have a good day or the best day because you can.